All right, so
Welcome to the Spelunky to Ashes podcast.
yeah, welcome to the Ashes to Ashes podcast. Yeah, I was about to say Ashes to Ashes 2 because I was thinking like Spelunky 2, but it's just Ashes to Ashes 1. Episode whatever.
I think I can preemptively call it a Dust to Dust episode because
Yeah, Kirsty's not here today. My throat's acting up, and Kirsty's not here today. She's at a friend's house. So yeah, it's just us three today. You want to you don't need to introduce yourself. Just say names.
names.
Yeah, you can probably guess who they are by their voices. So let's just get right into it. So there was one really big event that happened over the past couple of weeks.
Exactly. I nearly beat Spelunky too. That was a big one.
James Randi. Does anyone know who that is?
I know Randy Babandy.
Yeah, I know him.
You know him? Sam, do you want to introduce who James Randi is?
Wasn't James Randy that like skeptic guy?
Yeah, but we should
Yeah.
say introduce who James Randi was.
Yeah,
Because he died.
Myth confirmed. Death is real.
Yeah, so James Randi, he died the other. Did anyone know what he died from? I think it's like cancer or something. I'm not sure.
Probably he was like an old man with
Yeah,
a brain of Swiss cheese.
he had this $1 million challenge where if you could prove that you were psychic or something, or you had magic powers of some sort, you would get $1 million. Very heavy vetting, and no one ever won the million before it was shut down. Now, I wanted to take some time today to talk about who went on the $1 million challenge and what for. You know?
Did I go on the $1 million challenge?
Do you want to?
Can I?
No, it's not happening anymore. The guy's dead, and
It's like,
I think it's something like 2014.
I will never drive a reasonably priced car. That's a real problem for me.
A reasonably priced car.
No matter how famous I get, I will never be the star in a reasonably priced car.
Hmm.
So what's even the point?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Um. Damn, you threw me off my groove. I was gonna say something.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just think about what it was. Right. Right. Okay. So,
Rescued a damsel and then move to the left a bit immediately in altar.
$1 million paranormal challenge. Now there was one really big one, which is Masaru Emoto. Does anyone know who that is?
Sounds Japanese.
Yes, you're right. It is Japanese. It's a Japanese
How do you spell Immorto?
Emoto.
Uh,
Oh no, it's not that other one. It's not that one.
good content.
Anyways, this guy is like a paranormal scientist. I don't know if he actually ever got a science degree, but he was like a, he wrote books and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a degree in what? Science.
You can get degrees in science. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, like a degree in science. What you just
Well,
stuck in year 7 and 8 forever.
No, it's called Bachelor of Science, and I guess you choose your major.
A bachelor of science. You're a natural philosopher.
That's what they call them back in the old days.
Yep.
Anyway, so this guy
Like
Emoto.
Grigori Rasputin was a natural philosopher.
Yeah. He believed in like the hidden power of water. Now, we all know that water's pretty important.
Powerful. Yeah, well, I think we need it for something. I'll have to look it up, but
Yeah, we all rely on it. It's got some pretty amazing
speak for yourself.
properties.
It's pretty heavy too. Cubic meter of that weighs a ton.
And one of the biggest experiments that Dr. Emoto did, Doctor, Mister, I don't know. This guy did.
Omoto-san.
Well, yeah, we should call him that. Researching the formation of like water crystals, like when ice forms, right? And what he did was he would put the water on.
You mean to tell me water crystallizes?
Yeah, and like
At
it
what
crystallizes into
temperature? At what temperature?
0 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
I think.
I'll have to fact check that one, but I'll let you slide.
Right. Damn, you can make me doubt the most basic things, Joe, when you say stuff like that. Anyways, so here's one example. he like took it at a microscope. Maybe that's an electron microscope. I don't know. When playing different sounds and stuff to it, and so he got these kind of things. I don't know what peace
So
sounds like.
it's like homeopathy, kind of. That's water, isn't it?
I've got no idea. Jeez.
Okay, so
Anyways, and he formed a very important thing called the rice experiment. Now, the rice experiment, this shit's crazy, all right? Basically, you put rice in water into 2 jars,
hmm
and then like every day you say one thing to one jar of rice, and then you say another thing to the other jar,
right.
and then you watch how mold grows in both of them.
Okay.
And so like it's you know, we should do this on Ashes to Ashes. Actually, I'll get some rice up one day. It's basically this kind of thing. And so this guy set a really important precedent for kind of like how you investigate the paranormal in the 20th and 21st century.
Okay. As the designated skeptic here,
Mhm.
I am Thomas Milk the skeptic. I want to say something about this. So
Yeah.
do they open the jar and scream at it, or do they just leave the jar closed and yell at it?
They leave the jar closed.
Okay, but initially, do they yell at it
What do you mean initially? Oh no,
before
no,
they put it in the jar?
no. They put them both in the jar on day one, and then they close it, and then every day they come back and say something to both of
Now,
them.
notice the condensation on the right jar as opposed to the left. Now,
Yeah,
you know why condensation occurs, yes?
temperature.
Yeah, the temperature of the jar would affect that. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, the condensation tells me that the right jar was a hell of a lot colder than the left one.
Colder, did you say?
Yeah. It's like the left one is refrigerated and the right one is refrigerated.
All right. Ah, so you're saying this difference in temperature could have caused this?
Yes, because here's a little known fact: refrigerating things makes them last longer,
Hmm.
which is
That's
a helpful tip. If you have meat, don't leave it on the ground for the dogs. Put it in the fridge. Put the dogs also in the fridge so they can have a tasty snack.
that's a very interesting point, Mister Joe, Mister Stain.
Actually, I go by Thoth now.
All right, counter
Set.
set.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do this experiment one day. Maybe after exams are over. And it's gonna be so lit.
Will you create the rice in a sanitary environment?
Of course I will. What do you think I am?
Yeah. Okay.
Someone who doesn't control their experiment?
Yeah. I see. But it's like that thing. It's like, oh, you put a straw on top of or a pencil on top of the bottle or something, and then like chance at it, it'll start spinning like whoa.
Oh, like Charlie Charlie. Yeah, I know it.
It's something like that, same similar thing. But do they not consider that yelling expels a great amount of air?
Of course they don't. Some people are just
Or
silly.
like Luigi boards, they are complete crap. Like it's like, oh, they're haunted, they're cursed by spirits. Where? At what point does Hasbro inject them with souls?
I know, right? One day we're
They
gonna get a Ouija
manufacture
board as
them
well.
en masse and say, oh, but a ghost talk to me. No, that's just someone in your group being a wanker.
All right.
That's the whole point of it.
If I get my hands on a Ouija board, who are we contacting?
We will be contacting Burrows.
No, he's still alive though. You know,
I
I
don't
was
know.
thinking of this is kind of controversial, but I was thinking, what do you think George Floyd would have to say?
Well, quite famously, he couldn't say a lot.
LOL, 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 LOL.
Sam, is that you or is that your soundboard?
What?
No. Here's the thing. On the topic of rice, did you know that you put a phone in rice after putting up water, it'll like absorb the water, absorb the moisture, like silica gel, which you can't eat, by the way. Don't eat it.
Yeah.
Now, it also works with oats, because you put in a jar of oats, put the phone in a jar of oats, the oats will attract Daniel Mills, who will then fix your phone for you.
Oats, Daniel Mills. Why Daniel Mills like oats? He a horse or a duck or something?
It's all you can eat.
Oh, now I feel like a dick.
Yeah, you should. It's
Anyways, this guy was one of the people who asked to be on Randy's. Sorry, no, Randy invited him on the $1 Million Challenge.
Oh,
But
Daniel Mills.
guess what? He refused. Can you believe that?
shockingly.
Yeah. Other people that refused included the famous medium Sylvia Brown, who then James Randi put up this like timer on.
Oh, well, wasn't Sylvia Brown the one that like detectives got in? It's like, I know where this missing lady is, and they found her chopped up in a barrel in some field.
Um,
All I know is like country American. Like here's the thing. They're in the country. They're American.
mhm,
They're policemen. They're
mhm.
American policemen. So that's just a trifecta of stupid. So they tried bringing in like mediums to like say, where's this girl? It's like, I see her. She's alive. She's in Detroit or something. And then it's never correct.
I remember there was one really famous example of like a psychic detective who said to like these parents who had a missing daughter or something, that she was like
She's
dead, but then in reality she was still alive, and like those guys spent like 12 years grieving over their daughter who was still alive and just like ran away or something.
speaking of dead children, Madeline McCann.
We're segueing into this.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about it.
She was off by her parents.
And what's so paranormal about it? I don't get it.
It's I don't know, corruption,
I'm
dead people, ghosts.
not really feeling this, so I'm gonna go.
Well, hey, we
We're talking
can't have
about,
just a
we're talking about
podcast
ghosts.
with
We're talking
just
about,
two
we're talking about
people.
advice.
Like, I've got other shit to do.
Look, you are what makes this podcast into a podcast. Unbelievable.
He already left.
Already, that's us. This is
Look, we were actually doing really well with this episode, you know?
yeah. We're talking about ghosts and
Should we get him on?
what about astrology?
We've already done astrology, remember? Like 5
Yeah.
times.
Well, true. Okay.
Alright, fine, I'm doing it.
I don't know. I just want to make fun of people for
Don't make
believing
me
in stuff.
regret this.
Like I don't know. Let's talk about. I don't know. Let's talk about
Actually, no. Instead of
Let's
getting
talk about
him.
pagans and Odinists and those kind of people, modern neo-pagans and neo-Odinists that are
Okay,
worse.
but before we go too far, there was one other topic that I wanted to talk about first,
Wow, you
alright?
had multiple topics. Incredible.
Yes, I had a
This is
second
first.
topic. And this one's actually kind of fitting because, look, there's only 2 of us here.
Look. In post, you're gonna splice in some fart sound effects and pretend Sam was here the entire time,
Empty internet theory.
right? No one on the internet is alive but you.
No, obviously you're also alive. I've seen you in real
No,
life.
no. I mean, like when you're everyone on the internet is a bot except you.
Oh, well, not you. You're not a bot. You're speaking to me right now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
What's
you
the,
mean.
what's the empty internet thing?
Okay, so basically, empty internet it's not like everyone, but a vast majority of the posters you see on the internet are in fact bots.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
commenters on YouTube who don't
Yeah,
have any
all
videos
bots.
uploaded
All
of,
bots. All bots. All bots.
you know, like some most Reddit accounts would be bots.
Yep, I fully believe that.
Twitter.
Because like it's a lot easier to make 1,000 accounts with a bot than to have 1,000 people make accounts.
Right. And the idea is that these bots try to like populate these websites to make them seem more alive than they actually are. And this doesn't seem too far fetched, does it?
Yeah, I suppose the interesting thing is like if we all get raptured or zero sum like the Dwemer and Elder Scrolls, uh, these bots will keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, they would. And it really makes you question, do you think that any Discord accounts on this server would be? I don't think the Discord will be affected by it.
Yeah, because I don't really post that much. There'll be something.
Yeah, I think that the more like social medias that like you could say
I
Discord is a
often
social
think
media,
about
but
old Quake servers that have been running for 10 years straight, nothing but bots forever.
have you heard that creepypasta about that?
Yeah, that was debunked by Carmack himself. So
Really?
Yeah.
I really like that story. Though. It was like a good
Yeah, it's an interesting
philosophy
story.
thing.
It's
Yeah, for any viewers who don't know about it, it's a story basically.
it reminds me of an episode of Star Trek, the original series. Now because there's only two people here, I can actually talk about this. Where
Go ape.
there's this planet, and there are like 3 big continents on the planet, and they're all at war with each other. A big cycle. It's like 1984, and they realize like okay, they shifted off the war game to the machine. The machines will handle it amongst themselves, and the machines worked out okay. Blowing stuff up causes problems. It causes other people to blow stuff up for us, and then we have to rebuild it, and then it's just a hassle. So, if we just say these places got blown up and have the people die there, it'll save the mess. So their system was like, okay, this place was hit, it blew up, 10,000 people are dead. They just go to the suicide booths and die. So yeah,
The Quake story was basically that this guy plugged in like Quake bots that would learn from their mistakes, whatever, and left it on for a really long time. And the bots learned eventually that the best way to win is like, sorry, the best way to not lose
it's
is
war
just to not
game. Like
play.
it's like war games and mutually assured destruction. The only way to
Right.
win is not to play.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what the bots did. They would just like not play at all. They would just stand still until a new player joined
And
and
like
when they were decimated.
it's
Yeah.
like the short story. It was it Ray Bradbury or someone? I
I've
can't
read a few
remember.
Ray Bradbury short stories. I think they're pretty cool. Like Twilight Zone
Yeah, he wrote
things.
and Fahrenheit 451. He wrote that as well. But I have no mouth and I must scream. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know if that's by Ray Bradbury, but yeah, that's that.
It is by Harlan Ellison, who I have not heard of that much.
Neither.
Yeah, that's about it. Um, AM from the story, the robot, the
Yeah,
AI.
AM means a bunch of different things over the story.
Yeah, like automatic melon. On the topic of melon, we can
You
talk
have
about
to leave.
facade. We can talk about facade. Yeah. Um, uh, that's another AI thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
AM's whole thing is like he is too smart
Mm.
and he thinks so quickly that even the time to say like a simple sentence is an eternity. It's complete suffering for him. And
Yeah,
no
damn.
matter there are like a group of 4 or so humans left. Those are the last ones. And his whole job is to his whole thing is he tries to torture and torment these humans as much as he can, but nothing he can do can even remotely equate to the amount of suffering he endures.
Really?
Yeah.
He can't
So
like
it's a
shut
good short
himself
story.
off?
No, he can't.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So it's like machine versus creator.
Yeah. Like Shin Megami Tensei, if you think about it.
Yeah, I suppose. Messiahs are created by the Great Will to kill Yahweh.
Mm,
That's what it's about when he gets out of line.
yeah.
The thing about that is like I quite like the anthill analogy for like deities.
Tell me about this anthill analogy. I don't
The
know anything
anthill
about it.
analogy, it's say you're in the backyard and you're looking at an anthill and you're like, pretty cool anthill. So you break off a bit of cracker and like sprinkle it on them. It's like, yeah, have some crackers, whatever. They didn't ask for the crackers. You just sort of gave it to them because you felt like it. You're not concerned about these ants like at all. Like if they move somewhere else, you really couldn't care less. And you're sitting there looking at the ants. You could help them. You can squash them. You can burn them with magnifying glass. You wouldn't care. They're just ants. They're nothing. You could just flood their entire nest with a hose and kill all of them, and that'll mean nothing to you. You wouldn't feel anything. They're just ants. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But those ants could have been praying to you all that time. They could have worshipped you as a deity, but you would never know. You wouldn't care. They still got flooded by the hose.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of being flooded by the hose, Yahweh's done that a couple times.
Yeah,
Just taking the hose
I'm
out and
flooded by hose usually. I'm just really popular.
stop being horny.
No, it's not November. You're right. Um, Yeah, so 11 days into No Nut November right now, and
Yeah, I failed in 9.
I'm still going. Chrysler's still going, and Sam's still going, and that's about it. Everyone else
Good
is
on you,
gone.
you know.
Yeah, out of like the 7 of us who started, there's only 3 left.
This is the first podcast in November.
Yeah, after the Halloween stream, it was kind of awkward.
What do you mean awkward? What happened in the Halloween stream?
Well, you're not there, like all the British stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was funny, like from an outsider perspective, but it also like it upset like the 2 people on our podcast who
Who?
are not
Who's the other upset guy?
Chrysler.
Rice is not British.
Well, no, he's not, but he was the one who was making those jokes, and I had to tell him off for it.
Ha.
Yeah.
Kirsty's not even British.
Well, her dad was born in Britain, and I mean, I don't know if she herself was, but like she's got a lot of British. They've got a UK flag in their home and things like that. you you find that alone funny?
Yeah. I don't have an American flag up in here. The only flag I have is one of Ben.
Why would you have an American flag up in there? If anything, I wouldn't be surprised you had an
Australian flag,
Irish.
whatever. I don't.
You don't?
I don't care. I've got this fucking sick Nocturne poster now. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a Breath of the Wild poster up in my room.
Yeah, but I like Nocturne more than I like Breath of the Wild, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Good game. And you like SMT4, you're up to Midtown. Or past Midtown just now.
You know what
Towards the
happens? I got
Hills
up to
building.
Reverse Hills
Oh, hell yeah,
and I died,
dude.
and I already had a tab, so I had to be sent all the way back to like I don't know where even. I rage quit. I just pressed the home button and just shut my DS and didn't come back to it.
You mean you didn't have enough play coins?
No, I mean, I was in a market debt already,
Yeah, okay.
and when you're already in a debt, they don't let you take another one, so you just
I
lose.
like the story behind that. Like, Charon is like, so many people died during God's plan that it's just so much paperwork he really couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
And all those towers and things, the ghosts just like hanging out, built places, built a city. While they're still trying to get through all that goddamn paperwork. So I'd rather get like the 50 play coins, like, yeah, go on then. Rather than have to deal with you.
yeah. Maybe I need to do some walking, get those play coins up, so I'll never have to deal with that problem again.
You've hacked a 3DS. Just do that.
Yeah, true. At the start of it, I had like 300 play coins, but quickly went down to 0.
Remember how many times I told you play SMT4?
Yes, I do.
Remember how many times you refused?
Yes, I do.
Mhm.
I'll refuse again.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah. We'll probably cut that whole part out of the podcast.
What, talking about SMT4?
Yeah, I mean, what did that have to do with the paranormal at all? I mean, maybe I'll leave it in. I don't know. This could just be like, I don't think this will be a dust to dust episode. Maybe this could be like a subscriber special called
Patreon special.
Meet the Meet the Joe, and I'll put that at the start.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, like, here's something you should do.
right.
Because I know you're a big man, degenerate idiot. So here's something you should do. You should try to learn Japanese because it's a lot of fun.
Learn Japanese.
Yep.
Bro, I spent 3 years in no, I spent okay, sorry, I spent 2 years in Chinese school and like 6 years in total, and I still don't know how to speak Chinese.
Yeah, because Chinese is crap. You know?
Is Japanese actually easy to speak?
Yeah, phonetically it's fantastic. Because you don't have to.
Phonetically?
You mean I mean, like, how are phonetics done in Chinese in Mandarin?
I mean, it's all
It's
right.
complete crap. It's complete crap. You know?
All right, continue on.
But Japanese actually has alphabets, 2 alphabets actually, or 3 if you count kanji, but that's whatever. It has hiragana, which like sounds, conjugation, that.
Okay.
Arigato meaning thank you. You could say that in kanji, but why would you? It's such a common phrase. You just write arigato. 4 sounds. 5, really.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty big investment learning a new
And
language.
it's very easy to. It's like, English is great to learn because you can immerse yourself in it, and it's very easy to differentiate between the words, spaces, commas, and whatnot.
That's
Differentiating between words in Chinese.
well, yeah, well, I don't know, yeah, because words can be multiple characters or just one character.
Yeah, differentiating between words in Japanese is easier because it goes between kanji to hiragana, back to kanji, hiragana for conjugation. And because you've done so much Chinese but remember none of it, you would have a head start.
That's a pretty interesting idea.
Kanji is Chinese, the Chinese letters. And the problem is pronunciation, but you don't really need to be able to pronounce the words to read them. It's got to know the general meaning.
Well, yeah, the immersing yourself stuff is really important because when you try to learn Chinese, there's so much shit. There's like absolute dreck media that is just
Yeah,
absolutely difficult. Like,
but I say it's a fair assumption to say that Japanese is the language that you're most exposed to besides English.
yeah. Well, like, look, for a weeb like me who spends all of his time, like, doing stupid shit, playing Japanese video games, watching anime,
Yeah,
just being on the
exactly.
internet in general. I know I'm exposed to a lot of Japanese stuff. It's probably easy.
Now here's the process. Yep.
All right, tell me about it.
Okay. So, like, week 1 is gonna be easy. Learn hiragana and katakana.
In 1 week.
It's not that hard. It's like learning a cipher alphabet, essentially.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do all this stuff after the 27th of November. That's when my exams end. But all right.
Yeah. Okay. So you can use whatever for this. You flashcards, mnemonics, whatever. That makes it
Hmm.
easier. This is the one good thing Duolingo's for in Japanese. It's garbage. Otherwise,
Yeah, same with Chinese. Only works
get
for
hiragana,
European languages, really.
get hiragana and katakana under your belt. It's not really that hard. It's just like
Okay.
just look at a grid enough times and you'll know it. It's like times tables. And it's practice it. That should take you a week or two. It's really dead simple. They're just sounds.
All right.
The second part is long. I would say it's difficult, but not difficult, hard difficult. Just a lot of stuff to do. So you're going to want to use a program called Anki, which is a flashcard program. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I'm
And then
not.
you're going to download a deck or a group of decks. These are made by the JP board and 4chan. Core 3K, Core 2K, and Core 6K are the only ones you should really use. You can go Core 10K, but that's stupid. So, respectively, they're like the 3,000 most common kanji, the 2,000 most common kanji, and the 6,000 most common kanji. And you just sort of, work through those for a good while with the flashcards. Be sure to get a handle on pronunciation as well. It's a good thing to know.
What about the vocabulary?
This would teach you vocabulary.
Oh, yeah, true, because the pronunciation's
Yeah.
the same throughout all of them, just different ways to write it.
Yeah, it's look, kanji is a lot of fun to learn, and you would know a lot of it already, from like basic Chinese words.
Bro, you underestimate how much I forget.
You know the zip flaw?
Most common word, and the second common,
Yeah. The
vaguely,
first common
yeah.
word. The first common word is 50% of all words in the language,
Okay.
and then second most common word is 25, and so on. It's a logarithm.
All right.
I'd say you would already know 75% of the most common words. It's like, oh yeah, I know that character. I know what that means because they have the same pronunciation. They have the same meaning generally between Chinese and Japanese.
I'll tell you this. I do remember a fair bit of function words, like
Yeah,
the difference between function and content words.
like you remember the most common character. The first one comes to mind is Jin. You know that.
Is that in Chinese?
Yeah, Jin is the Chinese pronunciation.
Of what?
The person.
No, the Chinese pronunciation of person is Ren. If you're
Right.
talking about the little dude like this.
Yeah, that's it. That's also Hito, because there's two family pronunciation. That's stupid. Another thing you want to look up is Tai Kim, which is a grammar guide. It's long, but worth reading bit by bit, I guess. Just learn the basics, and then you can sort of figure it out from there.
Yeah.
After some months of that is the fun part, where you can actually start, reading, and then you start consuming media. At this point, you can keep using Anki to get the vocabulary up. But for the most part, just start reading, because
Oh
that's the
yeah.
best possible thing you can do to learn.
Alright, sounds like a pretty solid plan.
Yeah, it's fun too. You can go on Twitter and complain about Bakagaijin.
Yeah. I definitely could, Joe. I definitely could.
Yeah,
Alright,
it'll
so
be
this has
fun.
been the Ashes to Ashes 100 subscriber special. Do you know we're at like 76 subscribers right now at the time of recording?
So we're gonna release this 100. Yeah, great. Speaking of,
This is gonna be such an underwhelming reward. Maybe I'll do like a series
speaking
of them.
of large amounts of people watching something, 14 million views.
Let me guess, some kid
Shelby
gets
video.
suspended for throwing water balloon?
Yep.
40 million.
Yeah,
Christ.
you saw what she did with it, the money that she sold the rights for.
Wait, she sold the rights for it?
Yeah, for a few $1,000s.
To who?
I don't know, some media group. They're like buying the stuff up and selling it, licensing it out to people. It's like all viral videos like cute puppy eats bugs, and it's, in the script it's like brought to you by Toucan Media, established 2009.
Is that in the rest of our videos?
No, it's like generally you see viral videos all corporate now.
Wow.
But
My video, Killer Bean versus Jet Bean, is almost at a
yeah.
million views now. I mean, it'll never hold a candle to that. I think that
No. Here's the thing. Her videos for the unwashed masses.
her video
My
is.
yeah, and, Tyson's been bullied in real life because of it now because he uploaded without permission.
Yeah, geez, I feel bad for him.
Now my videos, I'm proud of. I made them. I think they're still funny. So what if they have 20 views each? I don't care. They're good. I'm proud of them. Angry Dad is a particular highlight. They're relics,
Yeah.
Ancient times.
Speaking of, today I changed my channel back from B back to Ryoma.
Oh yeah, Ryoja.
I just changed the name back to High Prince Ryoma instead of Ryoja this time around.
I know. I noticed something.
What'd you notice?
We had a deal.
We had a deal?
We had a deal.
What was the deal?
I would watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
If I played
Which
Snake Eater.
which I would say I had seen enough of to fill that deal. I watched part 1, 2, and 3, which I'd say is enough.
Yeah, it's about 60%. So as long as I play 60% of Snake Eater.
No.
What?
Look. How long are seasons 1 and 2, parts 1, 2, or 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Okay. Part 1 and 2 are just one season of about 25 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then part 3 is another 46.
Okay, so let's just round it down to 60 episodes.
Alright.
That's 20 hours.
I'm not playing 20 hours of Snake Eater.
You won't have to. It's over in like 11. It took me 11 hours the first time around.
Yeah, but you're Metal Gear Solid Pro.
I was crap at it. This is the first time I played it. I can beat it in 3 hours now.
Alright, you know what? I'm pretty sure I still have, like, the Subsistence. Is that the good copy?
That's the re-release from PS2. That's a good one.
Right. Yeah, I have a ISO of
Just
that somewhere.
make sure you're playing it with a DualShock 3 so it still has pressure sensitive buttons.
I do have a DualShock 3.
You need those.
You need pressure sensitive buttons.
Yeah, because Kojima was one of the few developers that actually used it.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was on the PS2 and PS3, and then they got rid of it for PS4 for some reason.
Wow. All right.
Anyway, this has been the Ashes to Ashes podcast, brought to you by Spelunky 2.
Yeah, this has been the Joe Stain special. I hope you learned a lot about him, his motivations.
Character special. My motivations is I remember it, so you don't have to.
Exactly. You know, he's a very complex character.
Not really.
And we're gonna get the other two main hosts on for this. Maybe even myself. You know, maybe I'll do a Q&A.
If it's all okay with you, I will sit in on the milk special because we're a package bundle.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll
It's
buy
fine.
one get one free. I'm a free one.
All right. We'll catch you on the flip side, gamers.
Like yeah, Sam's the one that you get from. Sam's the one you get from like a fancy place, fancy like David Jones. And I'm the toy of the magazine that it comes with.